We've done it, folks. The penultimate day of 2019. We've done 12 vacuum cleaners in 12 months, although there's still one more after video to come of the Hoover Electrolux. But what have we seen? What have we experienced? What have I used? Well, in this standard after end of the year video, do a little montage, remind ourselves of all that we have seen. Yes, hello my vacuum cleaner chums, how are you today? 12 vacuums in 12 months. This was the third year of doing it, and there's obviously been a big switch to cylinder over upright because, well, I have laminate flooring. Not much point in an upright. Whew. So, dive in, stop looking at my face, and get on with the first vacuum, which was the Miele S5510. Actually the machine that I had as a daily way before I started 12 vacuums in 12 months. Used it quite a lot anyway, so it only seemed right to bring it back down. Apart from the motor starting to fail towards the end of the month, it was as lovely as a Miele cylinder can be, really. It was absolutely fine. The right tools, the right floor heads, the right suction. It was as lovely as a Miele could be. For February, we had the Dyson DC54 that I was given, and I think I did it, yes, it was after I fully refurbished it, so it was working as well as it could, and it wasn't that bad in terms of performance. It has good suction. You know, it's a bagless Dyson really, but the tools weren't very nice. The whole machine was bulky, far too big for my 2-bedroom terrace house. The hose was too short. It made a weird howl through the filterless cyclone system. And then it went to Mr. Hooverlux after that, and I didn't clean it up specifically so that he could make a few videos on, you know, what they're like after non-DIY use, which is quite key. So you'll have to find his channel and watch his videos for the outcome of that. But yeah, if you had a big house and you were quite a lot shorter, it would be okay, but I just didn't like it that much. In March, the Hoover Celebrity S3005 in orange, a machine that I have had for years. Years and years and years. Never did anything with it. Thought I'd use it for the month, and it was okay. It wasn't running quite right, and it actually made a horrible sound. I picked it up and the motor moved internally and caught itself, and I didn't use it much after that. So, but luckily that was towards the end of the month anyway. But it was very nice. Again, it was very short for me. It kept picking up at the back, but for the hard floors, especially if you didn't let it get too dirty, so it couldn't blow the dirt away before it got to it, it was absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. And as you know, when I went to visit Mr. Hooverlux shortly after, and I brought this with me, we fixed it because it was missing a clip on the motor, and he now has it as his because I wasn't really that wanting it. But we made one good one out of two, so it does live on. April. Copeland REO800. If this machine had cord rewind, it would be absolutely perfect. It was the right size, the tools were lovely, the floor tool is brilliant for hard floors. It was a little bit loud, but it had all the suction you could ever want. You know, it took a HEPA flow really, really well. It was just fantastic, actually. I really must look out for the same era of Copeland REO with a cord rewind. Because even my other Copeland REO, the later version, that's a non-rewind one as well, which is a bit of a pain. But yes, it was pretty awesome, actually. Ticked a lot of boxes, did the Copeland REO. May saw the Electrolux 4x4 that I own. Obviously, as you know, I did two of these for Mr. James, my good friend, who, God, I've got a lot of content for Mr. James coming up. And obviously I gave him the Minter one, and I kept the other one, which was fine, and it was boringly lovely. Actually, it's basically a dolphin in drag, so it had good suction, lovely tools, very long cable, although the cable had was auto. You couldn't stop it with a pedal, it just constantly kept trying to go in, which was a little bit of a pain, especially when you then ran the cable over, and then rather than having enough slack to sort itself out, it just jammed solid, and it was big. Very, very big. Same problem with the DC54. It couldn't turn around in the hallway very easily. It also had the remote control on the handle, which although was very, very cool, and certainly a lot of cool brownie points there, you had to have the machine quite back behind you in order for the infrared signal to reach. If it was directly underneath you, it wouldn't work. That was a little bit of a pain. But apart from that, it took a HEPA flow like a charm. It was pretty perfect. I've still got that actually as well. That's up in the loft. In fact, I've also got the Goblin REO going back to the previous one. I should probably keep this up throughout the video, because in June we used an unrefurbished VAX 121, which was lovely actually. I forgot just how much I quite like using a VAX 121. If I had any more dirt to pick up, if I had hard floors but had pets or otherwise got them a lot more dirty than they get daily, it would actually be a pretty good shout, because it's got a large capacity. And it was just like being a child again, because obviously it's the vacuum I had growing up. And okay, it's not fantastic for carpets, although if you got yourself a better little turbo brush, it might be okay. Power Plus that the VAX 121s came with are just dire. And obviously it tips over a bit as well. But I do still have that. I haven't actually touched it since filming that, apart from I think I used it to clean the car out not long after. It's in the shed. I did promise that I'd do a video strip down series of it, refurb. I will do that. That'll be a next year job now. Still have that. July, because the Parnell 1010 is fantastic. Like the Copeland REO800, it's very small, very compact, it's a lot quieter, it's got a lovely little hum to it. It took a HEPA flow really, really well. And okay, it hasn't got a switch, which was more annoying as the month wore on than I thought, because that was when I became on my own, if you remember. And obviously I was doing a lot of furniture moving, a lot of sorting stuff out, and it was a lot more of a pain in the bum than I thought, having to climb back over everything that I had out to go and turn it on or off at the switch. In fact, I think I got something else out whilst I was doing that. And then sadly the hose end broke. That was a bit of a pain, because that was a hose that somebody very kindly sent me from Canada a few years ago. But I do still have all the bits. I haven't touched it yet. When it's refurbished, I will glue it all back together so it can at least look nice. But that was one of the perils of running something quite vintage, was that things break. So with a switch and with a fixed hose, it was again beautiful for going around the hard floor. The floor head it's got quite nice and sucks stuff into it really well. As you saw, I don't think the Vibra-Beat head is much cop, but it was surprisingly good, and I do still have it. August was actually something that I used to test and it worked. It was the SIBO C3 that Mr. James paid a little bit of a bill that he owed me with. Brand new in box, but from the farmyard. If you watch Mr. Ibasiak, he's had a heck of a lot of videos from this bunch. Normally they start in tears and end with a refund. But apparently this is where this came from, because he said it bore all the hallmarks of his one, because he has one as well. James says he thinks it might have come from there, he can't quite remember. So I used it basically to check it wouldn't explode. And it's fantastic. It's pretty much on par with using the Miele. It's small, compact. The hose being on the side makes it pull along at a bit of an angle. That took some getting used to. Getting the power head on and off was a bit of a faff, and I did use it quite a lot just in straight suction mode, because it's got a lot of airflow. A lot of airflow. The remote control hose handle was fantastic. Again, I can see me using it as a daily with no problem at all. And I haven't got any more yet. There's no real need to get any more because I've got the top of the range one. It seems a bit silly getting the ones that do the same thing but come with less tools. But no, it still runs. It's all boxed back up away now just so it can stay out of the way while I do other stuff. That was absolutely brilliant. And as we saw with myself and Mr. Hooverlux, the Powerhead is better at grooming carpet cleaning powder into carpets than actual bespoke carpet cleaning powder head. So there's a thing. All September was the Electrolux Automatic 345 with its plastic hose because the cloth hose was ruined. I have fixed it now, but I'll be honest, the plastic hose was better anyway. And again, oh, that was so nice. Oodles of airflow, even unrefurbished. Oodles of airflow, it's quiet, the wands are a nice length, the automatic floor tool is beautiful. Pulling the cable out, it does pull the machine over constantly because you have to put it out directly to the side. It was too long, like the Electrolux 4x4 and the DC54, to turn around very easily, but no, it was very, very good. I've got a few other Electroluxes similar to that, which we shall be seeing in the future, but no, that was definitely a big tick in the box. It's now gone back into the refurb pile. October saw the Miele Revolution 5000 that I have had for absolutely ever, and it was again like the S5510 that we used, which was actually only a couple of variants down from the Revolution 5000. It was perfect. Again, utter monster. It was also quite nice because it had the powered hose and wand. It was easier to swap the power head on and off, unlike the C3, where I only used the power head a little bit here and there because it was such a faff to clip the cable up the wand. This was fine, so I ran it around with my Parquet Twist XL and its power head, and it was flipping fantastic. Very nice. The hose is very heavy and it did cut out on me once or twice. I've had to bend the contacts up again. It just seems to be whenever you are lifting the hose up by the handle, the hose falls a bit at the back and just comes away from one of the contacts, and that then kills the power to the machine because it thinks something is wrong. So it's certainly still a very finicky thing. I do still have it. I have thought about selling it, but the hose, I don't think it's broken. It's just something it's always going to do. B, I don't think I'm going to get one in the condition it is in because it is absolutely mint. There is not a speck of damage on it at the top. There's only a little bit of use showing on the bottom. So I have certainly kept it for now. That was incredibly good indeed. November was the AEG Black line, although the second best of the two I had, the best one got sold quite quickly after I refurbished it. That went for a nice chunk of money. So I thought I'll use the second one. And again, like the SIBO C3, and as you saw, there is just an inordinate amount of airflow, even on the lowest setting. It'll hold its hose up on full power, which is only 1,000 odd watts. It's incredible. Took a HEPA flow really, really easily. But, and I know this is a bit of a shame because I haven't been able to form a proper opinion on it. Its floor tool was completely broken by the bolt running right through the suction channel from a previous repair, and it had the two broken wheels. Yes, I think across the two machines, 2 wheels were fine, 2 wheels are broken, and I couldn't glue the plastic tabs on well enough because it's just the wrong forces twist it. I used it without the wheels in the end because it was just a bit easier. Such a shame, but also it too was massive, absolutely huge, but I don't know, it's gone now. It's actually gone to Mr. AG123 for spares because it was too good to throw away. Yeah, it had a beautiful motor in it. If you used it without the wheels, with a HEPA flow, it'd make a lovely bench vac. I don't know what he's going to do with it. I guess we'll see on YouTube. Plus I was just pissed off with it because it was broken and I didn't get to experience it properly. But we'll have more AEGs. I flipping my hope. Probably the later ones I want to get hold of, but who knows when that will happen. And finally December, which you haven't seen because that will be tomorrow on the 1st of January, the Hoover Sensortronic. And I shall stop that there. Fade out the other videos because you can see what happens with the Sensortronic and what the plans are for 12 vacuums in 12 months tomorrow on Christmas Day. So, Happy New Year to you all. Thank you for sticking around. Thank you for subscribing. I hit 3,000 a couple of weeks ago. Very, very cool. I haven't done much because, I don't know, I don't go wanting subs. I'm a niche channel. There's no point in me advertising myself out to here, there and everywhere because it's always going to be the source of content that's only popular with a certain group of people. I imagine the people watching this are my lovely hardcore fan base, but obviously the people that watch the videos of me fixing Dysons are just people that want to fix their Dyson. And that's fine. I don't do it for the subs, I don't do it for the money, although I earn a little income from it. It generally goes back into the channel somehow. It's just my hobby. And I like that because, you know, we don't have to care. I don't have to have an MO or please people or anything like that. As you know from the Tinko fun, they haven't spoken to me since they gave me the vacuum. And, well, it's not my fault. It's just awful at keeping its dust off its filter. Sorry. So yes, thank you for your help and support. I hope you stick around in the future because it's going to be more of the same. There'll be a few more stripped down series though. Hopefully. Please comment if you like the ones you've seen in 2019 so I know whether to put more or less effort into them in 2020. And that is it. So I shall sit here and finish my coffee because I'm not very well. I drank an entire bottle of Beecham's at work a couple of days ago and it staved off the awful feeling. I've just got this cough now, which as a smoker is a pain in the bum. But what can you do? So, Happy New Year. Be a video tomorrow for 12 vacuums in 12 months and then normal service will be resumed. Thank you very much for watching and I shall see you soon. Bye bye.